Good afternoon, everyone. Today I want to talk about one of the most iconic movies of the 1980s, Beetlejuice. Directed by Tim Burton, this movie is a playful and creative take on the ghost story genre while also paying homage to its traditional elements. The ghosts in this film are the main characters, and it follows their journey trying to haunt this family. The film displays Tim Burton's iconic gothic atmosphere that he likes to create, but in a satirical sort of way. The movie starred Alec Baldwin, Gina Davis, Winona Ryder, and Michael Keaton. The movie Beetlejuice is set in a fictional town called Winter River in Connecticut in the 1980s. The story takes place mostly in a large old house that is inhabited by a young couple, who are ghosts as well as the previous owners. They're both named Adam and Barbara Maitland. The movie begins with the Maitlands driving home from town until they crash their car. And when they return home, they realize they didn't survive the car accident and have actually tragically died. Now they're struck with the haunting realization that they're stuck in their own house and have all the time in the world. As the time passes, the Deets move in, their new family, and that includes their new goth daughter, Lydia. Lydia is a teen that's obsessed with the occult and eventually can see and communicate with the dead Adam and Barbara. The Maitlands attempt to scare the family away by possessing them and spooking them, but their efforts fail, so they unfortunately had to turn to Beetlejuice, the ghost with the most, for help. Beetlejuice agrees to help, but they soon realize that that wasn't the best choice, as he's insane and uncontrollable. Meanwhile, the Maitlands begin to rethink their opinion of the Deets family. They eventually work to banish Beetlejuice back to the afterlife, and the Deets family agree to let Adam and Barbara stay in the house as friendly ghosts. As the movie ends, we find out that Adam and Barbara can live happily as ghosts with the Deets family, specifically Lydia, the girl who's obsessed with the occult. This movie became extremely popular for the time and is a great example of a ghost film where the ghosts are fully fleshed out characters. Well, obviously not literally fleshed out, but they have such humanity and personality to them. The Maitland couple ghosts' initial goal was to get the newly moved family out of the house that they used to live in. They employ numerous scare tactics to convince the family to leave in the beginning of the film. They tried to make themselves known by scaring them at every turn and using their new, amusing ghost powers to do so. They would change their faces and make scary faces, throw items, close doors, but to no effect. Since the ghosts are major characters within the story, they are very impactful on the audience. Adam and Barbara symbolize a connection to the afterlife and a possibility of life beyond death, as they are ghosts who more or less struggled with their own identity as ghosts. They initially struggled to come to terms with the fact that they have died, and once they have, they learn to live life peacefully as they wanted, until the Deets moved in. They explore this idea as the movie progresses, where they have come to terms with their new life. The film uses humor and horror to explore themes that express the feelings of many people in the 80s, the decade that the movie came out in. The ghosts of the recently deceased couple, Adam and Barbara, can be seen as a commentary on the idea of people in the 1980s having this longing for the past. Adam and Barbara represent a desire to hold on to their peaceful home by themselves, but are met with this new family. This new family also has all the new age technology, decorations, and furniture. They begin to remodel the whole house, changing their interior to look more modern, which angered the ghost couple. Lydia can be seen as a representation of teenage angst and isolation, which was a popular movie motif in the 1980s. Her interest in the death and the afterlife can be interpreted as a rejection of the superficial materialism that was prevalent in popular culture at the time, and in many teen films in the 1980s, since they always had that one dark, brooding goth girl. Really, Beetlejuice can be interpreted as a reflection of the anxieties felt by the people in the 1980s and on the culture as well. The movie Beetlejuice, directed by Tim Burton, pays tribute to ghost story traditions in a number of ways. The movie incorporates various supernatural elements, such as the waiting room for the recently deceased, the use of incantations to summon Beetlejuice, and the movie has a distinctly gothic atmosphere with its dark and eerie visual style. The movie's central location is a haunted house, which is inhabited by ghosts who died in a car accident, which are all common ghost story tropes. The house is portrayed as decrepit, cobwebbed, and filled with strange occurrences and furniture covered in cloth. The ghosts in the movie engage in physical interactions with objects, which include moving objects, slamming doors, and making strange noises. The ghosts, being vengeful spirits wanting the new residents out of the house, is a classic ghost story motif. They even mimic the idea of ghosts wearing sheets at one point in time. Overall, Beetlejuice is a playful and creative take on the ghost story genre, while also paying homage to its traditional elements. This was one of the first films where the ghost genre is infused with comedy and uses the power of ghosts for comedic purposes. In the 1980s, Beetlejuice and the Ghostbusters started a trend for funny ghost movies. Beetlejuice became so popular that they adapted it into a very famous Broadway show as well. In conclusion, Beetlejuice is a beloved and iconic film from the 1980s that is still appreciated today. Directed by Tim Burton, the movie pays homage to traditional ghost stories while also injecting humor and satire. The ghosts in the movie are fully fleshed out characters with distinct personalities and humanity. The film explores themes of death, the afterlife, and the anxieties of the 1980s culture through its various characters. Beetlejuice is a testament to the power of storytelling and its ability to entertain and impact audience for generations to come.